So we parked probably 150 yards from here. We're just walking this little waterway and trying to find a crossing. We actually did find our crossing. I've got a cell camera quite a bit of ways from here. This kind of just stretches back into a thin line down into a pinch by private. Now that we got across the water, we're just gonna hook towards where my camera's at. More than likely, if that's the water right now, we're not gonna be able to get to my camera without going out and around. But we wanted to scout this whole thing anyway. So yeah, once we get on some good sign here, we'll break it down for you guys.
You got in?
Yep.
He's gonna keep moving, babe. Can't go through that way. All right, so during last season, one of my bow hunting mornings, I was trying to sit where my cell camera was, and we got a huge flood that came through, so I wasn't able to get through there, which made me follow pretty much the same route that we took right now. And I came onto this island. The only thing was it was super early in the morning, so it was hard to find a tree or find anything to set up. But I remember seeing all of this big buck sign, just all of the buck sign in general. There's this old historical rub. So it hasn't been used in a couple of seasons, but it still tells me that bucks are comfortable coming through here. And then if we follow this way, you can see they rubbed a little bit on the bottom of this. That's another historical rub. Buck probably came through this way. Snap this off. This is from this last season. This is all snapped off.
Look at this.
These are just coyote tracks right now, but what I'm seeing here is this guy. And this is exactly what I'm looking for in the woods. That there's a mature animal leaving sign. Now don't get me wrong, a smaller buck's gonna rub this, but how wide it is and how tall it is, there's actually tine marks over here in this one. So while this buck is coming up here and rubbing this, his tines are also tipping this off too, which lets you know he's got longer tines. Here's another historical rub. So we're on a route. These are all rubbed up back here too. Look at this. This is old, but he snapped this off. So there's mature bucks using this for sure.
Historical.
All of these are all rubbed up. So what this is telling me right now, with the amount of rubs that are in here, how thick it is in here, they're hanging out in here during the day, and it's just enough cover and just enough room for them to walk around, not be seen, eat off of this stuff. So we're gonna mark this, find the best tree. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure the best tree is right next to Steph right here, right behind her. I can get up. So this would be a really good tree right here I can get up into, and I'd get right up into that pinch up there, if you want to pan up there, right where that tree splits off. I'd get up here, looking out over here, expecting them to come in. And then I'd get my shot as they come through here. You can see that there's tracks through here.
Here's some rubs.
Yeah. This is something you get into super early in the morning. There might be a really big tall rub over there. Super early in the morning, get back here, get set up, shut up and quiet, and just wait for them to funnel in. So I'm excited about this one. Might be one of the ends that they bed on there.
Rubbing right here too, fresh. Right here.
And that's coming this way. They bed back here. Bounced over to this next island. There's like a little waterway that comes through and it splits them. We crossed that water, came in here about 10-15 yards and found a rub, fresh one from this year, really good one. Not necessarily mature, but just good as in sign. And it's coming through this way. And I looked back here and I just see this little pocket. Just looked like a bed to me. Poked our head in here. There's an old historical rub here. This looks snapped off for some reason. They might have snapped it off in the past. There's an old historical rub right there. So this buck is gonna bed in here, watching his entrance trail. If anything comes through here, because the main trail we followed in is right in the middle here. So it's the same thing. He could be bedding here just in general as his core area bed, or he's bedding here and he's watching the doe traffic come through here. And then, like I said, wind over his back, looking this way. Looks like that main trail runs through the middle. Let's try to get back up there.
There's one right there too. Oh yeah. fresher.
It's a weird spot for it to be. It's like he beds right here. Couple of time marks right here. Yeah, he beds here. That's from his tines. He's probably just right here.
Another situation.
Let's try to get to the edge out here and see if they left any sign on this edge. So, still on that second island that we came to, kind of on the very far end of it now. Followed this trail out. Seen a rub right behind us here. It's a decent one, nothing too mature or too big. The reason I'm super interested in this spot is the amount of buck sign that we found and how thick these pockets are. They're gonna feel comfortable moving around in here. And now I'm thinking about rut. There is a patch of thick over there. And then if you look in between these two fields, there's red brush that runs through the middle. Now during the season, that's gonna be a little bit thicker because of the foliage, so they're gonna feel comfortable traveling to and from these pockets. And that's how you catch them. You catch them when they're traveling, trying to check bedding areas. So still more interested in the first island that we found. Haven't really seen much of a setup over here, but we're gonna shoot across this field now into that other patch and see what we can't find over there. There is kind of a trail here too. I could get as high up into that tree as I really splits up at. Shoot down into here. Let's follow this. Let's do it. Out of this last year, I just never found like the perfect spot to set up at. So we'll jump across this little cattail marsh and get over there, mill around in there, see if there's any new sign from this last season, see if there's anywhere else that I can see that I can set up at. And then I want to say a little bit kitty corner to that is that opening that I was talking about. So we'll get in there and mill around in there too.
Oh yeah.
I set my tree stand up like probably.
This is all rubbed up to here.
Shredded that thing. So man, we've made it pretty far past those islands that we were originally scouting, just essentially following the creek line and whatnot. We got back into this pinch. Probably about 50 yards from me is the property line. It kind of pinches down into a corner. But the morning that I made my way through all of these islands and whatnot, I want to say about 40 to 50 yards this way, I seen some really, really good sign. And on our way there, we just seen this guy. And I don't know, probably like 10-15 yards back the other way, we found another rub that was all shredded too. So kind of back on more buck sign. We're gonna follow it back to that area that I think it's going to. So once we get back there, I'll show you.
Couple tracks right here.
Yeah, like I said, this is bedding, so let's. So we have wrapped essentially all the way around this property. Now we're following the river edge. The river's only about 30 yards that way. And last season, I came in here on a blind sit, cross the water in my waders, and then just walked this river edge. And as soon as I got into this general area, there were scrapes everywhere. So it was pretty active. So I knew I needed to get up in a tree. And about 10-15 yards behind us there, I ended up setting up in one of those trees, and all morning I filmed young bucks just running back and back and forth. Now that we're back in here, we can kind of scout it a little bit more. See this nice historical older rub. But not only that, but we have scouted this entire property, and not until now are we on deer tracks, and we're finding them actually pretty beaten down in here. And it's going into this known bedding. I've had this marked for the last 2 years, this bedding back here.
Top this little log here.
This historical right here.
Yep.
We just did a loop.
Yep.
All right. Both of these.
All right, so pretty much wrapping up the day here. Did a huge U around this whole property. Found out those 2 islands in the beginning that we were scouting is a really hot spot we want to check out. And then that bedding area that I already knew about, we kind of dug around in there a little bit and then followed the deer trails out. So I know we're onto something in here. Just got to figure out how the big boys use it. I've seen a lot of the younger deer in here, but I've had a cell camera in here since October, and that cell camera, probably like twice a week during the rut and a little bit after the rut, I had a big guy walking back and forth in here. Just could never get him when I was in here. But yeah, just wrapping it up. Pretty good sign. Plan on hanging at least a few cameras in here and definitely putting a few sits in here off of what we found today. So I'm excited.